Hello, everybody. This is our first pre-scheduled live. We're gonna have a pick your brain chat with Josh, and we'll wait for some people to come in here before I get started. But Josh, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Been looking forward to this ever since I heard you mentioned it on the show that we made the promo out of. I've been looking forward to it. So yeah.
Well, I'm so glad that you came on and that you took me up on that offer because it was something I just kind of in the spur of the moment threw out there. And I never really know, I throw things out there all the time regarding all kinds of stuff. But I'm really glad that we actually were able to follow through with this. And I hope that this helps you to bring some peace, by releasing, because you're holding on to a lot of stuff. As
Yeah.
we all are, right? But this in particular, there's a lot that comes with this that, like you had said, that you didn't realize how much this was affecting you until just recently when it started coming up again.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I basically when when I left the church when I was 18 or 19, when I got out of there, I never looked back. I didn't, care about it, didn't think about it, nothing. Uh, but obviously all throughout my life things would come up and I would have to get rid of like that what I was taught, because it was still with me, a lot of stuff that I learned there, you know what I mean? And
That's the joys, right, of the indoctrination, and especially when it happens so early, it just sticks like glue.
yeah, right. I was like a completely um what's the word, like I was just like a good little kid, believed everything. um was always afraid to do anything wrong, get in trouble, and anything, all that kind of stuff. So I just believed everything and didn't question anything.
Yeah.
And so it took me 20 years to to get out of that way of thinking. And I still work on that. I still find myself having to question things and
Of
not just believe
course.
everything. But yeah, it didn't come natural for me.
Before we get started, Josh, I just there's some people starting to come into chat. I want to say hello to everybody
Okay.
and welcome them. I am going to do a what is it called here? A disclaimer. I'll wait till a couple more people come in. Josh, before we get started, remember I had brought up the idea of a safe word. So if there's a topic or something that if something comes up and you would rather not discuss it, if it's like too sore of a subject, which I know you had said anything was on the table, but just saying that if something does come up, we'll have a safe word, pineapple or something.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I'm pretty sure it'll be okay. I'm not too worried about it, but
Just in case.
yeah, but if something comes up that I'm not comfortable talking about, I'll just say, yeah, I'd rather not talk about that. It's
Okay.
fine. Yeah.
Um, I'm gonna do a disclaimer. So there's 5 people in the chat. Hello, everybody. I'm gonna do a disclaimer. And it's gonna be probably a little bit like I went online to see how to do a disclaimer just really quickly. And I added a few of my own words. So disclaimer. For our YouTube overlords, the views expressed and opinions of our guest are their own and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of this channel. This conversation is for education purposes and not professional, legal, medical, or financial advice. We are not responsible for any actions taken based on the content of this or any video on this channel. The information provided is based on our guests' knowledge and experiences and will not be censored for anybody. That being said, let's talk about what we're going to talk about.
That's an excellent disclaimer, by the way.
Thank you.
You're good.
World Harvest Church. This was started by Rod Parsley. I'm just going to go here. I brought it up on on the interwebs to describe, because I said, what what religion is World Harvest Church? Um, this is what the Googles say. World Harvest Church is a large, non-denominational evangelical, I can't say the word. I always struggle with this. Evangelical.
Evangelistic.
Can you say it, Josh?
Yeah, evangelistic.
Thank you. Evangelical Christian.
Oh, evangelical.
Yeah.
Evangelical. Yeah.
Sorry.
It's all right.
It's one of those words I always struggle with.
Yeah.
Christian megachurch based in Columbus, Ohio, founded and pastored by Rod Parsley. It is characterized as a world and spirit church, emphasizing biblical teaching, the Holy Spirit, and according to YouTube video, it allows for the flow of the Spirit in worship. I don't know, there's like I have a hard time with bullshit. So listening to some of the videos about him leading up to this, I wasn't able to listen to very much, of course, with everything being released, the Epstein files. I'm like a lot of other people, I'm kind of caught up in the dust of all of that as we sweep the corners out, the cockroaches, clear out the cockroaches, pull the root, or the root of the poisonous plant, and the head of the ticks. We're doing that right now. And I, like everybody else, trying to catch up with everything that's going on. I'm caught up in this. So having to listen to Rod was really extra difficult for me, because it's just he oozes. I'll say it straight up, he's very charismatic, like extremely charismatic,
Yeah.
and convincing. Like I catch myself listening and going, wow, this is really good what he's saying right now. Then it's like, wait. What are these fake tears? What is all this drama? Like, rein it back. Don't get sucked into this bullshit,
Yeah.
So I want you to understand that, and I know you already know this, but I want to speak to little Josh right now, the little Josh inside of you who's still hurting, that none of this was his fault. And big Josh knows that. But let's speak to little Josh.
Okay.
So he understands that none of this was his fault. He had no control over what happened. He deserved to be loved and cared for, like every child. And none of this was his responsibility. None of this played any part in the his. That's not how I want to say this. It wasn't based on who he was that caused this. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He was an innocent in all of this. And he's safe now. He's okay, and Big Josh is going to take care of him. And everybody here, we're all with you.
Yeah, I can feel that. I appreciate that.
I'm glad you feel that. I don't want this to be people listening and just hearing words. I want you to know I mean that. I genuinely mean it, and feel that with me. It's coming from my heart.
I believe that 100%. And thank you.
Thank you for coming on, because Josh, this isn't going to just help you, even though this, I'm hoping, is going to help you tremendously. I'm hoping after everything that over the next few days, there's going to be several, I don't want to call them interviews, but we'll call them chats like this.
Okay.
And really feel what comes up. Really feel the emotions that come up with it. That's how you're going to heal from all this. Because we were all taught to shove all that shit down, right?
Mm-hmm.
The healing happens when we're allowed to have those feelings and allowed to feel them, acknowledge them, observe them, feel them, and then let them pass like leaves in the river or clouds in the sky. And for me, I like to visualize throwing that in the fire. And sometimes for myself, I write something down and actually burn it. You know, when I'm writing it down, I really put my heart and soul and intent into the words I'm writing down and visualize that releasing, pulling that out of the backpack because the bag's already too heavy, right? We're going
Mhm.
through this journey and the pack is heavy. And we don't need to carry all this shit.
Yeah, yeah, I like that analogy. I've been thinking of that, since you'd said it the other day. I think that's a great analogy, and I kind of felt that, a little bit after that initial show that we did with Sandy a couple nights ago. Just like going through and looking. I think you popped in at the end there, um, but after that show, I just felt kind of like a couple bricks had been taken out of the backpack is exactly what I thought, and
That's awesome.
I got that, yeah, from you. So I like that analogy.
Yeah, let's pull all the frickin' bricks out.
Sounds good to me.
I've got pages here of questions. Well, pages of details and questions. Just all, like where I don't even really. I thought I knew where to start, and I think I do. The something I watched the other day was it was. I had to actually stop it at one point, but I went back to it today. Listen, you were right. Actually, he was asking for money, which turns out that's what most of his, from what I've picked up on, that he's asking for money, right?
Yep, all the time.
This is a mega church. This is what they do. This is how they survive.
Yep.
He was putting he had this sermon going on that where he was trying to get. He was shaming them. He asked them about who read their devotionals um, and when and like what did what did the daily devotional say today or something, and because nobody answered right away, he went directly into shame and fear and judgment with them. He started saying about the church is worth $4 million compared to somebody else's church that was 14 million, and they didn't read their devotionals, so they closed. Something along those lines, and it was
Yeah.
I
He was
just
probably he was probably talking about the devotionals book that he wrote that they had to go buy and read in order to uh,
oh, likely, yeah, because he
yeah,
sells those books. He said that it was a 90-second devotional or something, and then he laid into them with the shame and the judgment and the guilt about not reading it.
yeah. There's a huge bookstore right in the lobby of the church when you first walk in, uh, selling all of his stuff,
I
or at
figured
least there
so.
was. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I have seen other places like that online where people are showing that when you first go in, um, it's like a gift shop, but it's not a gift shop. It's all the books,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yep. Books, merchandise, prayer cloths. Um, $40 for uh, a piece of cloth that's supposed to be blessed and you know
It's gonna save your soul.
save your soul, and yeah, it probably costs 35 cents in Korea to make.
Yeah, selling for $40
Yep. Yep.
or more. If you want to pay more, he says, $40, $1,000, whatever you want to give.
Yeah. Well, right. Yeah, technically, he's not selling it. It's for a
It's
gift of $40.
a
You'll get this
gift.
for free. Yeah.
That's right, a gift. Giving. Like his app. He's got an app called Giving, and that's for your gifts for the church. $40 or more. But he suggested, where do I have that? He suggested the other day, yesterday's live stream. I think it was. Unless actually, I don't want to say that because I don't know if it was from yesterday's or another one. But he's suggested $40 or 1,000, like whatever you want to.
Yeah. Close enough.
Close
You
enough.
round it up to 1,000.
Yeah,
Oh gosh.
this
Yep.
guy. So okay, be a giver, he says. I saw something. I saw something. He was telling a story, and or the lady was telling a story. Somebody up there, I'm sure you would know who she was. She was telling a story, and she mentions uh, your secretary or administrative assistant. And Rod says, he jokes and
Yep.
cuts in, and he says,
Mhm.
in the Bible, those are called concubines.
Yeah. That was his daughter that was talking.
That was his daughter.
That was his daughter. Yep.
That's wild. And people in the congregation, they laughed, and a
Yeah.
couple were clapping. Like, what? What?
Yeah.
And just for anybody out there who's not sure, let's concubine in the Bible. Let's just look. Let me read to you what a concubine in the Bible means. In the Bible, a concubine, Hebrew pelagish, was a woman in a secondary, often slave-like marital relationship, inferior to a wife but recognized by law, used to bear heirs or for pleasure. With figures like Abraham, Jacob, David and Solomon having them through, though God's ideal was one man, one woman. Key stories include the Levites' concubine in Judges 19, showcasing extreme abuse, and David's concubines, highlighting polygamy's fallout, illustrating societal norms and moral complexities. A concubine held a rank below a wife, but had some legal protections, not merely a mistress, but a secondary wife. To provide children, especially male heirs, for a barren wife, increase family workforce wealth, or for sexual satisfaction. Um, this was his joke in front of everybody, com- comparing, like, referring to the secretary or administrative assistant as a concubine.
Yeah. I couldn't believe it when first time I seen that clip.
Did he?
And they
Did
all
he?
laughed.
And they laughed. People laughed. Like, what? What is going on here? And how many people go to this church, the mega church? Thousands,
Um,
right?
well, the sanctuary holds 5,000, uh, like
What
permanent
is the
seating.
sanctuary?
I'm sorry.
What is the sanctuary?
What do you mean? What
Is that, like, do you mean the actual?
the building, like where the services are held, is called the sanctuary.
Okay.
Uh, so like the stage and all the seats and everything are that holds 5,000 people. And when I was going there in you know uh, late 80s, early 90s, when they first moved into that building, um, I think they had about 3,000 people that were coming regularly. And then on Sunday mornings, it would actually fill up. By the time I left, it would get like 5,000 on Sunday mornings. So I
That
don't know. I
is
don't have no idea what it is now.
likely even more. He's got,
Yeah.
what did I write down here? On his YouTube channel, Rod Parsley's YouTube channel, he's got 52.5 thousand subs, 1.5 thousand videos. Be a giver, he says. We want to bless you, so hurry and give. Basically, if you want to be successful.
Yeah. Right. Because we can't bless you unless you give.
That's right. Give us your money, the gift.
Yeah.
Gifts, gifts.
Yeah. As soon as we get your money, I promise the blessing's on its way.
Yeah.
He's been. Yeah. It's the same message for the last 35 years.
He's a charlatan. Somebody was sharing a story. Let me see here. I've got some notes. So I was watching a video, and yeah, it kind of makes you question some things about what's actually going on there. Let me bring up your file because I keep track of my stuff. Where's the J's? Down here. I have a lot of notes, guys. Bear with me. Oh no, I put it under cult. That's right. You think I would have brought this up ahead of time?
Yeah, it's all right. It's not
I
like
know.
this was planned or anything.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I put it somewhere else too. So let me bring that up. Okay. So this was an interview on what was the Megamaniacs? The Robin from Megamaniacs does outs this all of this from the World Harvest Church. Like that's what her whole channel was about, right?
Yes. Yeah, 'cause she used to she worked there as the HR director for like 4 years.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah, well, she was talking to somebody called Mandy. Did you know Mandy?
Mm, most of the people on that I see her interview, I don't know because they're people that have been there more recently. Uh, when I was there, it was way back in the very beginning. So the people that she's talking to are more,
More
uh,
recent stuff.
more recent stuff. Yeah,
Well, something she had brought up, and I'm sure this isn't going to surprise you, because she's got a special care child, like
special
uh,
needs.
special needs. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. And so she brought up, because they do schooling and everything there, something called Bethany's Place, which was a room that was supposed to be for this specific purpose. But they were very ill equipped, and she said they needed more supports for these kids. And at one point, uh, this this room was turned into a closet, and then later it was resurrected as the purpose of what it was for. But it makes you wonder, if they're so ill-equipped and needing more support for these kids, where is all this money going? Like that's the kind of, when I was listening, that's what made me question a lot. So I have some questions for you. Let's go back.
Okay.
Your parents are still in that church, or they're not still in that church?
No.
Okay,
Uh,
but they were there, like you were there because they were there, right?
yes. Yeah.
And where are your parents from?
My parents are originally from Dayton, Ohio. Uh, and well, my dad is, and my mom is from uh, down in southern West Virginia.
Okay.
And then yeah, they met in Dayton, and then moved to Columbus, and started the family, and has been here up until a couple years, like 6 or 7 years ago. They moved to Florida.
They're in Florida now.
Yeah, well, yeah, well, my dad passed a couple years ago, so my mom lives in Florida now. Yeah.
And I'm sorry about your dad, by the way. I remember I'm pretty sure it was you that we had in Sandy's live stream. But I don't know if that was an anniversary, maybe an anniversary night. Anyways, I lost my dad too, so I get
Yeah.
it. Um, what were they like when you were little? Like, what were your parents like? And were they in the church from the beginning, or like, can you tell us about that?
Yeah. Well, so I started out going to a smaller church. Like basically, I went to two churches my whole life. The first church was called Redeemer, and it was basically like a smaller version of World Harvest. Like I don't know if it was quite as bad, but it was. Um, my friend said he'd went there, and he thought it was pretty crazy. Like they did all the dancing around and the speaking in tongues and
Oh my God.
laying on of hands and all that kind of stuff. But it was not nearly the size of World Harvest. Um, and so that's where I went to grade school. They had a school. They had a school, and so I went there through fifth grade, and then that school was getting shut down because they couldn't afford it anymore. So they switched me over to World Harvest, which basically was a slightly bigger church, because when I started, it wasn't even in that building that they're in now. Like they were in this small little like 150 seat sanctuary. Uh, and so then they just switched over to that, and like I think they didn't have any idea that what World Harvest was going to turn into. Uh, like I don't think they were looking for that big, you know, worldwide popular church and stuff, but it just grew into that. But when we started going there, it was, you know, it was a smaller church,
And it snowballed.
and it snowballed because he just kept asking for money and money, and the whole time, all, you know, to build the church. And that's the funny thing is that, you know, it was the Easter offering was always the biggest offering of the year, and you know would convince people to like save up and give like an entire month's salary for the Easter offering, and people did it. And um, so yeah, that was his biggest day because, you know, Easter, you know, if you give money on Easter, you get more blessed than any other day of the year.
Of course. That's logic, Josh.
Oh. Yeah, so I mean, it's just stuff like that that I heard all the time, and yeah, when I go back and watch, you know, current clips of them, it's exactly the same thing.
Like a program on repeat.
Yeah,
Because it works, right?
yep, yeah. It funded a, you know, I don't know, $10 million church, I think is what it was back then, and his, you know, $1 million mansion that he built.
Jesus.
Yeah, which he actually, I think the word was that he had planned on building three of them side by side, one for
Three
him and his
mansions or the
three
mansions or
mansions. Yeah, three mansions that were like $1 million a piece, because he had a big piece of property, and so he was going to build the one for him and his wife.
and then his concubines. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. YouTube.
And then he was
And
going to build one for his sister and her kid, and then one for his parents. Uh, and I don't think the other two ever got built, from my understanding. But
it's
uh,
very noble, though. It's very noble.
yeah,
A mansion for your parents. That's what everybody wishes they could do, right?
yeah, oh, absolutely.
But to do that, you would have to rob the bank or people.
Or the church. I mean, it was all the church's money.
That's
Uh,
what he's doing, clearly,
yeah.
right? I mean, I can't say that. I don't.
Well, he
I
he
think
said
it
it was from his book sales and other, you know, private things where he was making his money. But I don't know. I find that kind of fishy. I don't believe that.
no, I don't either. What were your parents like when you were little?
My parents were they were just like hard work. I mean, they were good parents. They were great parents actually. I think that they just were, you know, kind of confused. But I mean, they were both, you know, hardworking. They ran businesses. My mom was a realtor, uh, and my dad ran an exterminating company. You know, working all the time, and, you know, I mean, uh, trying to give me and my sister, uh, you know, the best lives that they can. Um, I
Yeah,
think the only mistake they really made was, you know, getting sucked into World Harvest, and, you know,
so easy though, right? It's especially of the time. So it like the church was every church. You know, now we don't. The churches are dying off. People are waking up. But back in the day, even, you know, there was religion was such a big thing. The pushing of the church and had to go to church on Sunday, and that was like, you know, that's your way into heaven, right?
yeah. Well,
They wanted the best for you.
yeah. Well, that's the thing about these big churches is that they're good at, you know, deception. You know,
Yeah.
they come off as, you know, a good, wholesome, you know, place to be, and then, you know, once they get you in there, then, you know, they guilt you for money or for whatever other reasons and manipulate. And you know, my parents, the World Harvest wasn't the only one that they got sucked into. They um, you know, they were all into, you know, a lot of the big mega churches all over the country. And
Really?
uh-huh. And I remember probably for like 4 or 5 years straight, um, our vacation was getting in the car and driving to Oklahoma for like 18 hours, and then going to church at camp meeting. I believe it was Kenneth Hagin's camp meeting, and it was just a big, you know, week long church service where they had all these different mega preachers, you know, come in for a week and just go to church, you know, a couple times a day for And that was my vacation.
And this was like a camp?
Well, it was called camp meeting, but basically it was just a week long church service, uh, with like 10 or 12 of the biggest, Kenneth Copeland, Kenneth Hagin, just all the big preachers came in, and each did a sermon. Like one did it in the morning, one did it at night for like 5 days.
Where did everybody stay? Were there like
Oh, everybody, you just go and get a hotel somewhere in the Tulsa area, and you just go. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
it was just like a big week long. It was like the circus in the town, except instead of animals, there was uh,
clowns?
clowns. Well, yeah.
Oh shit.
Oh, so yeah, Jim Baker. They got into Jim Baker's ministry too. Like although that vacation was kind of fun because he had a water park and a nice hotel. But so you know who Jim Baker is?
I know the name. My mom w- my mom was into the event. This is how I know I can't say the word because I've always struggled with this word. Evangelical preachings, like the
Hmm.
Joel. Well, no, not Joel Osteen. What's the girl? The woman with the jewelry and the big lips.
Tammy Faye Baker.
No, no, there's the other one. The high and mighty one.
Joyce Meyer.
Yeah, yeah. To listen to a lot of that.
Oh yeah, no, I never got into Joyce Meyer.
I couldn't
My ex
stand.
my ex-wife did, but yeah, I did not.
Couldn't stand it. And she would always have this on the TV very loud, so all of us would have to listen. And hey, that's not your food. Hey, sorry, Josh. My
It's okay.
my cat's on medicated food, and she's not supposed to be eating that. No, no, no. You have your own. Go up, up, up. Go up. Go on. Be a good girl. Sorry, guys. Um, yeah. So this would happen every year. This
Camp meeting. Yep.
camp meeting would happen every year. Um, and were you going to that when you were really little too?
That was probably even before World Harvest,
Oh,
uh,
wow. Okay.
or right around the same time. Yeah, I was probably 6 to 10. We did that. Uh,
Can you tell us about your upbringing? Like, just like when you were little, like what, aside from this yearly event that you would do with the church, you were going to Sunday school every Sunday or your church every Sunday? Like and at home, like what, like were you allowed to participate in life with other kids or?
um, so yeah, we went to church every Sunday for sure. When we were going to Redeemer, um, and then I think sometimes they had Sunday night service, or sometimes we went to Sunday night. Um, but then when we went to World Harvest, pretty much had to go Sunday morning, Sunday night, and Wednesday night because they had services all 3 nights. So I had to go, and yeah, I was in always went to Sunday school. I was very my parents were pretty strict. Um, had some weird rules that they probably got from the church. Uh, of stuff like I mean I wasn't allowed. I was very sheltered uh, from the world. I wasn't allowed to listen to any kind of secular music, watch any kind of cartoon or TV show that had magic or violence, or you know what I mean. Like I wasn't allowed to watch the Smurfs because Gargamel was Satan,
Oh my
uh,
gosh.
or something. Something along those lines. You know what I mean? Like just stuff like that. Anything with magic, like He-Man, or any Transformers, or anything that had any kind of anything other than like even Care Bears. Uh, like I'm surprised I was actually allowed to watch that. But you know what I mean? Like they were real strict on that. Um, and then yeah, then like the music, I couldn't listen to any kind of secular music. Um, in any kind of movies with cussing, or and anything above PG. You know what I mean? Like I was just basically sheltered from the world to, uh, I didn't see people, real life, as much as, as was out there. So,
So
when I got
controlling.
older, yeah, when I got older and got out on my own, it was like a whole new world. I'm like, wow, what is all this stuff? Uh, I didn't know any of this. And, I started listening to music from the '60s and the '70s rock, and uh, it took, had to catch up. But yeah, stuff like that is just, yeah, I was very, very sheltered,
Talk about a
and
culture shock, eh?
it was kind of, yeah, kind of a culture shock, getting out on my own, and that's kind of why I went crazy, and and was rebellious and started drinking and partying and um, just being stupid for such a long time is because uh, it basically took me 10 years to get it out of my system to uh, to make up for feel like I made up for all the stuff that I missed
Yeah, I think that's
when
really
I was younger.
common
Yeah,
with people who are brought up with religious indoctrination. Once we're set free, we kind of go a little crazy and do all the things, right? We
yeah,
weren't allowed to do anything, and then it's like, let me do all the things. And that can lead to a lot of issues.
yeah.
But
But
how old
luckily,
were
I
you?
made it out of it without
Yeah,
too much
thank
damage.
goodness.
Yeah,
But do you ever look back and go like, damn, like, how did I survive that?
all the
And
time.
it's like not even just the church part, but the after, what we did to our bodies after,
Yeah,
the amount of uh, drugs and alcohol and partying and just full on do all the things, like crazy stuff,
yep.
and we survived it.
Yeah. I wonder that all the time. I think about that when so many times I wake up in places I didn't know where I was at. Um, I mean, it turned out to be friend's house or a friend of a friend or something, but I had no idea how I got there. Um,
No memory of the night before.
yeah, yeah, no memory, yeah, of the last like couple hours at least of the night, stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Just so much bad stuff could happen. So yeah, yeah, I do feel blessed to have made it through that and not done anything too stupid.
yeah. Jeez, I can really relate to that.
Yeah. So what were you gonna say? How old was I when what?
How old were you when you left the church? Like, we'll go back to that, but just before we move on to the next question, I'm just curious, like, how old you were when you left?
Um, well, I was 17 in my when I finished my junior year, and um, I only needed 2 credits to graduate, like an English and a history or something. And my parents found this program to where I could go to Columbus State Community College during my senior year and just go to like part time to high school, get the two classes I needed, and then go to college the rest of the day and get high school and college credit for those classes. And World Harvest wouldn't let me do it because even though they had those 2 classes available first and second period, I could have went there and been out by like 10:30 and then went uh, to Columbus State the rest of the day. They were going to make me stay until after lunch for no reason, like stay in study hall and then through the lunch period, just so that they could charge my parents the full tuition.
Oh my gosh.
You know what I mean? So they said no, you can't just come for the first 2 classes. He can we can do that program, but he has to stay until 12. They're going to make me sit there for 2.5 hours to do nothing
For
just
nothing.
because they wanted the tuition, and they
That,
figured that's how they could justify it. But yeah, so I left the school when I was 17, and I just went and got the 2 credits in night school uh, in the summer,
good for you.
and then just went to Columbus State my senior year and was out of there. But I didn't move out of my parents' house until I was 19, uh, and so I still had to go to church with them.
So for those 2 years after leaving the church, between leaving the church and actually moving out of your parents' place, did they still have their control over you about their strictness, or were you at that point able to kind of sow your wild oats under the care of the roof of your parents, or what were those 2 years like?
Hmm. Well, I mean, yeah, my parents still had the strictness uh, about about the rules and stuff from the time that I quit going to school there until the time I moved out. Um,
Did they ease up a little bit?
it was a little bit, that like because by that time
You're a young man then.
I had already started drinking when I on the weekends when I could and smoking and that kind of stuff. Even though I was still living at home, I just had to sneak around and do it. And they finally discovered it. Or I got busted or whatever. Uh,
Pretty
and
hard to
so
control a teenager, right?
yeah, right.
Especially
Especially
one that's
especially
been,
once they turn 18 uh, or 19,
yeah,
which I mean, you know what I mean? Because then
all
technically
bets
they're
are
an
off.
adult, and yeah, and so then they really have no control over had no control over me from the time I was 18 until I moved out for that last year. Other than the fact that you live in my house and these are my rules, and and I was still pretty good kid. Like I didn't want to be get in trouble, or I still wanted to do things right and or whatever. But I was just experimenting, and I liked alcohol and I liked weed, and
Of course, because that numbs the pain, right?
it did, yes.
Gave us a
It
little bit of freedom, or felt some kind of illusion of freedom temporarily.
Yep.
It was too easy to just do the drugs and drink the liquor and have that release of, or a felt facade of a release anyways.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is because I don't even think I realized at the time, you know, that I was hurting or that I was you know, that I had been, uh manipulated all this time, you know what I mean? I just uh I mean at the time that I started, drinking and smoking and stuff, like I didn't think that I was doing it to, uh
To rebel.
yeah, I pretty much just to rebel. Yeah, yeah. I didn't feel like I had any pain or sorrows that I was trying to drown.
You
You
didn't
know,
realize you were self-medicating.
I didn't. Yeah, I didn't realize it at the time. Is what? Yeah, exactly what I. Yeah. So
What, the first time that you remember something being off in the church? Like, how old were you when you became, well, I know you said you left at 17, but like, how old were you when you realized, or tell us about the first time, whether you remember the age or not, that the first time you remember something in the church being off?
that's a good question because look in hindsight, there was a lot of signs that I should have seen, really early on that I didn't. Um, but like for example. Uh, my first year at the school was I switched over there in sixth grade. And my parents sent me to I went to Christian school my whole life. Uh, you know, first kindergarten through fifth grade at Columbus Christian, and then switched over to World Harvest. And
And just to clarify for everybody, you went to school on the church grounds, right? Like, part of
mhm,
the church. Like, it
yeah,
was, this is a mega church that has people are even living on site, right?
well, there's dorms now that are built on the property behind the church for the college students now. Because now there's a Valor Christian College, not just a high school and grade school.
Okay, but the
So
grade school kids, they're actually going to school at
yeah,
the church.
correct. Yeah, there's a whole big wing connected to the church that's just the school. Yeah, and so I went there at sixth grade, and uh, it actually was the first year in that building. Uh, in the brand new building that they're in, with the building they're in now. It was the first year they just opened it. And so my parents sent me to a Christian school to, not be around the influence of, kids, cussing and having sex and doing drugs and all that kind of stuff. And the first year I was there, I remember a couple of kids um, got detentions because they were taking the chalk dust like off the, we had chalkboards back then, not like, these fancy whiteboards the kids have now in their classroom. But anyway, the actual chalk dust, and it would, pile up on that little tray underneath. And so they were taking the chalk dust and putting it out on their, on their, on their desk and pretending like to snort it like it was cocaine or
Oh
whatever.
my God. Were they actually snorting it?
I think one kid might have done a tiny little bit for real, and then when everybody's seen how he reacted, nobody else did it. But uh,
But they were pretending though.
but they were pretending to do it, and and then even later on that same year,
I'm
uh,
sure the teachers loved that.
yeah, the teacher was a loser that year. Uh, he was a terrible teacher. I don't think he even cared, I honestly don't think he was paying attention. Um, but then yeah, later on that year, a kid uh, brought in a Playboy, uh, and just stuff like that. Like that should have been my first sign that that there was something wrong, because one of the kids that was pretending to snort the chalk dust was the son of one of the elders in the church, like one of the high ranking elders.
Okay.
Uh, and he ended up getting expelled a couple years later. Uh, and so I think that's probably when it was. If it's sixth, seventh, eighth, probably around ninth or 10th grade, when um, the elder's son got expelled from the church, and then the principal's daughter got pregnant. Like the next year, it started. I started thinking, man, there's something wrong, because like, I mean, I know it's not the parents' fault, but you know, two different people in leadership in this church have kids that are, probably some of the worst kids in the school. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that's when I kind of started questioning it in my head, but I never said it out loud to anybody. I never questioned uh, stuff like that.
Like at the time, it's probably just thinking, oh, their kid's wild, like it's probably because the parents are so strict, right?
Yeah,
Meanwhile, we're not thinking about the potential abuse that could be happening that's causing them to react and and try to get away from how strict it actually is, but to like what's the word I'm looking for? Like the pastor's kids are always the craziest ones.
yeah, right. Yeah, that's where the term the PK, preacher's kid, is. I've always heard that. They're always the wildest ones.
Wildest, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it turned out to be true with Rod too. His daughter was probably one of the wildest ones growing up in her class.
Trying to escape that controlling manipulation that's going on at home and God knows what else, right?
Yeah, except yeah, except she came back to it, and quote unquote, repented, and now she can preach the message that oh, I was a sinner, and I did this and that, and God saved me from this or whatever. But you know what I mean? Like it's all just still manipulation.
What do you think he would have done if she hadn't come back and done that? Like if she had gone off and said, you know what? I'm going to go off and live my life and have my own beliefs and live a human experienced life. I still love you, Dad, Mom. I still want you in my life. So, like I'm going to do this and you can do that your thing and we'll meet in the middle. What do you think that her parents would have said or done? Would they have shunned her?
I don't I don't know. That's a hard question. I don't think that they would have shunned her, because you know from what I've been learning recently, watching, a lot of these channels that talk about, their family and stuff. It seems like she's still, you know, she's still doing all the worldly stuff that, she says that she was saved from. And so, I don't know this for a fact, but, there's, um, the stuff that I've heard, there's, been people who taped conversations with her where, she's cussing and she's talking about, you know, uh, sleeping with guys and doing this and doing that and stuff like that, that, like it was like a common thing, like she's still doing, the things that, she was doing before, uh,
Just
just
secretly
not
though.
as, yeah, just not as publicly now. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
And he covers it up for her. And so
yeah,
that's why,
that's what they
yeah,
do.
yeah.
Secrets, right?
Yep. So, yeah, so I
Secret
don't think,
living.
yeah. Uh,
It's all a big
it-
facade. Pretend everything is perfect.
yep.
When you started seeing stuff going on, like seeing, the kids acting out extra, like the pastor's kids and whatnot, like, did you, um, did you ever bring up those concerns with your parents?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I didn't. Um, I,
No, you just kept that to yourself.
I just kept it to myself. But yeah, but I mean, yeah, it was, I don't know why I never said anything to him about it because, like it was just funny because, because we'd have like we'd have chapel on Wednesdays where, um, the whole school or the whole high school or whoever, would come in and, basically have like a little church service. Um, and so, and they would do, it would be like a little mini service of, World Harvest where you'd go down for prayer and, um, people would, start crying and, dancing and doing whatever and, all that kind of stuff. And this was us. This was the kids. And so like the ones that were, going down and, acting all spiritual and holy and, asking for forgiveness, like right after the chapel, like later on that same day, they're, back to their same old shit doing,
Hypocrites.
being assholes and,
Dick bags.
dick bags. Yeah. Beat me to it. So yeah, so yeah, I seen that. I seen the fakeness in that, uh, in school, uh, which helped me realize that it's just a smaller version of what's happening on Sunday, you know, in the church services. But yeah, no, never really did bring that up to anybody. Like, I'd mentioned it to friends or whatever. But and so and I always tried to not go down. Like I would pretty much just stay in my seat, just because we were required to be there in chapel. I wasn't really into it, so I didn't go down uh, and fake it or anything. Uh, but I don't know. Yeah, I was just a passive kid, and didn't want to cause any trouble or make any waves.
Of
So I just
course. Stir the dust.
just sat there and took it in.
Well, especially if your parents were strict. Like, it was always, I know for us, it was like, everything was got to keep it a secret. Like, make sure they don't find out, which they
Yeah.
always found. They always found out,
Hmm.
and then grounded. Did you get grounded a lot?
I didn't get grounded a lot. I was actually the good kid. Uh, like
Oh,
I
right, until later, right?
until later, yeah.
Yeah.
And then yeah, by that time, grounding didn't really work very good. Uh, you know, because I had to, I had my own car, my driver's license, and uh, I don't know,
Too
but
easy
yeah,
to
no,
get
I
away.
I had an older brother who was uh, pretty rotten person and was in trouble all the time, and so anything that I got away with a lot of stuff. And what I didn't get away with, I was usually able to just blame it on him, and they believed me because I was the good kid and he was the bad kid.
They were
So
so used to him already doing all the things. They
yeah,
didn't
it
question
was.
it.
Yep. So I got lucky with that one. Mm.
Oh boy, do you still have a relationship with him?
No,
No.
no. He was adopted. and like my parents adopted him when he was like 3 years old, and then he was pretty much a troublemaker his whole life. Uh, and so when he turned 18, he told my mom, he's like, I want to find my birth family. And so she found him because my mom's pretty resourceful, and he found his birth family, his parents, and he had um, two brothers and three sisters, and they all looked exactly like him, all acted like him, same mannerisms and everything.
Wow.
And they came over to the house, met him, and like a month later, he moved out and went and lived with them down on the south end, and got on welfare, and uh, just started living in the slums. Uh, basically abandoned the 16 years of everything my parents did for him to go, be a bum. And so I quit talking to him a long, long time ago.
Wow.
And then he died about 10 years ago because he just let himself go and got up to like uh, very heavy, like probably 400 or 500 pounds, like to the
Oh,
point where
goodness.
he couldn't get up and walk and stuff. And then eventually, that took him. But yeah, no, I have no. I hate saying this, but yeah, I have no love lost for him. He tortured me. He was the meanest spirited person uh, probably that I've ever met. So I was glad when he left.
Do you ever think that you'll be able to forgive him? Like,
I
he's gone, so it's not like excuse me, it's not like you would ever get the chance to, to sit down with him and hash things out. But have you ever um kind of stepped out of your shoes to sit in his for a few minutes and consider like what he must have gone through, and how his acting out may have been because of what he had been through. Like, kids, we all like, all kids need that nurturing and loving, right? And I imagine that he must have felt like, I don't know, I don't know what his experience excuse me, before being adopted. Like, if he was in an orphanage, or if he was fostered before. But I hear so many horror stories, and I think excuse me, I think kids who were adopted were not really set up with that initial support to give them that opportunity to have a better future. It's like they're pre-ingrained with this, like, you're not loved, you're not cared for, you're not nurtured, you don't get what the others get. And then
Yeah,
it's like the acting out is like a symptom or a side effect of that. And then it just sticks with them.
yeah, yeah. I've never really thought about it too much. Like like I've never tried to really look at his point of view. Because I mean, because like I said, I think they got him when he was about three. So
Imagine what happened before that.
yeah. Well, the story is that he had he had two parents that loved him, and cared for him or whatever. But he had a couple of accidents. He had fallen down, or did little kid stuff where he had been taken to the hospital like twice in a matter of a couple months. And then one day his mom's sister was babysitting, and he was in. This is a story that he was in the playpen, and uh, the babysitter was walking around with the phone in her hand, like she had one of the big heavy little square phones that we used to have,
Yes.
but it had a long cord, and so she was walking around uh, with it in her hand and went over to like do something and accidentally dropped the phone in the playpen on him and broke his arm. And so that was like the third visit to the hospital within like 90 days or something. And Child Protective Services just came and took him. Uh,
Does that sound like a real story though to you?
I I didn't really sound right to me in my kid brain, way back then.
What about
And
now as an adult? Like,
it,
because
it,
that,
it,
yeah,
I mean, I could see like an investigation getting started or them looking into it, but the story was is that on that third visit to the hospital, they just took him and he never went back, and they've been trying to get him back for or whatever, and then somehow he got adopted by my parents, like fairly quickly. Um, so yeah, so I mean, it doesn't sound like a very legitimate uh, story. So
it doesn't to me at all.
yeah,
It sounds like there was more to that, and especially back then, that would have been swept under the rug.
yeah,
When you think back to what would that have been, the 70s?
yeah, that would have been early '70s, like because I was born in '76 and he was 5 years older than me. So yeah, it'd probably been like 72, 73.
Yeah, I bet you a lot happened to him, and the
Yeah,
true story, you'll never know the true story of it, but you can imagine what what it potentially could have actually been. You know that they say his story, her story, and the truth,
yep, mm,
and we never know. The fact that they took him out of the home, though, I mean, and I look back and I remember we had a phone on a cord that would not have broken a child's arm. They would have had to smash the child's arm with the phone to break it.
yeah,
Kids are pretty resilient. So to break their arm, I don't know. It just, I empathize because I have friends who were adopted, and I have haven't, um, I don't know, my heart goes out to the children that have suffered in foster homes and orphanages, and just what they deal with, and the stuff that just gets kind of swept under the rug, and then he's dropped into this house of religion, like, like with this indoctrination being pushed on him. So like then it's he already has this kind of state forming in his brain of the conditioning that happens, and then he's dropped into this more different conditioning and never really feeling like he fits in.
yeah,
My
yeah.
heart goes out to him.
I'm surprised that he actually that he made it through that school all the way to through his senior year, uh, and didn't get kicked out.
Yeah,
Because yeah, he was always in trouble.
yeah,
But of
no
course,
doubt.
his final little parting gift to my parents were after them paying for him to go to private school for uh, for 13 years, is that he failed one of his classes his senior year, so he was one credit short of graduating, and never went back and uh, didn't made that up or got a GED or never got his diploma. So that was his thank you for all the years of my parents paying for his education, to get him a good education. He never got his diploma.
Do you feel that he did that on purpose to hurt them, or do you think there's a chance that maybe he didn't feel like he could do it?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a hard one. I I don't know. I don't think he was smart enough to do it on purpose. I think I don't think he failed the class on purpose. Like he just didn't care. But I mean, he obviously had to make a conscious effort to not go and get that last credit that you needed to get his diploma. Because once he turned 18, he found his biological family and then just left. So I think he just didn't care.
Maybe that was his best opportunity to get out of a situation that he wasn't happy in.
Yeah.
I remember wishing and praying that a family would show up and say, "Oh, you were adopted and we're your real family and we're coming to get you. We're going to save you." I used to pray about that and plead and beg the God that I was in contact with, like,
Hmm.
please, like, somebody, like, can my real family show up? Can, um, anything, somebody call protective services or whatever at the time in the 80s, whatever it would have been called. It was kids help phone or helpline came out, and I had heard stories of these services that looked after kids, but there was never anything like that near us that I knew of.
Yeah.
Are your parents still with the church?
No, my mom has a church here in Columbus from when she comes back. It's a smaller little Christian church called the Vineyard. It's part of like a big network of, I think there's vineyards all over the country. Uh, and that one seems pretty nice. And then she has a good church in Florida where she lives. But honestly, I think that she believed that she has no idea about World Harvest being the evil place that it was, or that it is. Uh,
Do you think she still buys into the
I,
programming?
I think that, yeah, she would still watch like a Sunday morning uh, service of Rod preaching, and think that she just saw something good.
Wow. How has that affected your relationship with her?
It really hasn't. Like, she learned that when I left uh, 30 years ago, uh, that I had wanted nothing to do with the church, and especially World Harvest. Uh, so and I don't think she even knows anything about um, me talking about this that I know of, because she doesn't watch my channel. Or Sandy's channel. I mean, she does occasionally. I think she'll pop into Sandy's, but she doesn't even know that I'm talking about World Harvest right now. And the corruption and all that kind of stuff. I've
Oh,
never really,
and you've never brought that up with her.
I've never brought it up with her.
Do you think you will?
Um, I don't know. I mean, I guess if it ever comes to a point where I feel the need, like if she decides sometime when she's here, oh, let's go to church or World Harvest, or I'm gonna go catch a service or something. I might say something then, but you know, I don't know. I guess I hadn't really thought about it, because it all happened kind of quickly. Like, it was only a couple weeks ago when um, we started planning this talk. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So, uh, and this is really the first time I've been able to speak out about it, or uh,
Well, you were 19 when you left home, right?
mhm,
And now you're how old now?
49.
49. And all these years you never thought to sit down with her and talk to her about that. What's stopping you, do you think?
I, I don't think there's really anything stopping me. Like, I mean, I would probably, be more than happy to um, sit down and talk with her about it, and she probably would too. Um, I think it was just, the first 10 years, I just wanted to get out of there and didn't want to talk about it or want anything to do with it. Um, so obviously, I wasn't going to do that. And then, once I kind of settled down and got out of that, rebellious uh, stage, and got married, and had a kid, and uh, I just kind of kept it pushed back down, and just never really wanted to think about it too much. So it was never I just never realized, how much it had affected me until, um, I don't know, whatever, a couple months ago, 6 months ago, when I found the Megamaniacs channel. Uh, because I mean, from the day that I left, when I was 19, I was still friends with, a lot of the kids from the school there, and um, we always referred to it as the cult. Like none of us ever wanted to say, World Harvest or whatever. So we would just always, whenever we would be
The
talking
kids that
about
were
it,
actually at the church that went to the church?
yeah, the kids in my class and my friends and stuff. Like
You
once
were
we
referring to
graduated,
it as the cult while you were there?
um, shortly after, after graduation, uh, looking back on it, everybody just started calling it the cult.
Was it like in a joking way, or was it like legit, like you all had actually come together and kind of
No,
in a
it was all kind of in a joking way, but I think all of us, kind of had,
mental?
a little bit of a belief in it. Like, we were joking, but every joke has, a little bit of truth behind it.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of where we're all at. We realized, you know, like in my brain, I didn't necessarily think that, it's the cult that it is. Like I just thought, it's just weird. It just seemed like a cult to me. And that last year I was there, and
Listen
everything
to your gut,
afterwards.
right?
So
Listen to your gut.
yeah, and so then yeah, it was just like I was mind blown when I found her channel, and then all these other channels that are exposing it, and they're all calling it a cult, and I was just like, wow, like I was right.
Yeah, you called it.
I called it 30 years ago.
You knew your listen to your gut. Have you maintained your friendships um from the people that are still there?
I have two friends um, that I'm still in contact with. Actually, three. I have one moved to Cincinnati, so I don't talk to him, but I could call him up anytime. So there's three people that I went to school with there, and one of them is my best friend. We hang out on Friday nights.
Oh,
Uh,
nice.
and the funny thing is, we weren't even friends at the time, but he went to the same elementary school. He basically did the same thing I did. Went kindergarten through fifth grade at CCS, and then switched over to World Harvest in sixth grade, which is exactly what I did. But he was like 3 years behind me, so we weren't actually ever friends in high school. Somehow we became friends, shortly after high school, and
After you
then
had left the church.
after we had left the church. Yeah,
Are you friends with anybody that's still in the church?
no,
No.
no. Yeah, like I said, I probably haven't stepped foot back in that building since since the graduation, my senior year graduation in '94, which would have been my graduating class had they let me come back and do the post secondary program. But yeah, so I went back to watch my friends graduate, and then never stepped back foot in that church. So I don't know anybody. Uh,
Hmm.
but I did get some spy glasses that have a little camera in them, from Amazon the other day,
Yeah.
and I'm contemplating going back over there and just like walking around like before a service sometime, uh, and
Wait,
recording it.
Josh. No, Josh is just kidding. Keep those cards hidden, Josh.
Well, yeah, nobody would know who I was. Uh,
No, but if they're listening, we're just kidding.
yeah,
But I'm
entertainment
just
purposes
saying that,
only.
yeah, this is entertainment purposes only. Um, but at some point we might need to check out Josh's channel. What's going on? Um, Josh, I'm gonna take a quick little ladies room break. But in the meantime, I'm gonna leave you on to tell us more about the things that you witnessed and experienced firsthand while you were there. Um, and let this be a stream of conscious. I'll be just away on mute for 2 minutes, but if you could share some of the things that you witnessed and experienced firsthand with us, that would be amazing.
Okay, I can do that. Um, I don't know if there's anything specific, um, but yeah, I mean, it was just a weird environment, um, because not only going to the church there, I was getting it all day long at school. You know, uh, from sixth grade on, and it was just weird because we had Bible class, and um, they didn't like us to question, so like they would read us passages from the Bible, or we'd have to memorize, uh, Bible verses, or hear these Bible stories, and then whenever there was anything that was that didn't make sense or whatever, there was a couple kids in my class that would speak up, and uh, they'd be like, well, why did this happen, or why did God allow this or whatever, uh, and we could never get a straight answer about anything. It was just always because God said so, or it was God's will, or some generic excuse like that, that that they would tell us, and we never really they didn't give us anything in context. They would take little clips of of these stories that were sometimes they'd be the same story but in a couple of different books. So we'd read like 3 verses from one chapter, and then jump to a whole different book, and then read another 6 verses from that chapter, and it seemed like they were just piecing everything together to tell us all the good stories. They never told us a whole lot of we didn't learn a whole lot about the Old Testament, and they said God's a loving God, and uh, wants to take care of us and do all this kind of stuff, but he doesn't talk about all you know um, the God of the Old Testament seemed like a lot more vengeful, and stuff like that. And whenever we would question stuff like that, it was just we just never could get a straight answer on any of it. So uh, that was kind of a difficult uh, for me. But I just, like I said, I was just a pretty passive, and just wanted to get through. And I hated school, so I didn't want to be there anyway.
So you were questioning, but they wouldn't give you answers, give you the
They
runaround.
they would just, yeah, it was always like, well, why did that happen, because it was God's will, or
Because God said so.
because God said so. Yeah, kind of like when you ask your parents, why can't I do that, because I said so. They pretty much do the same thing.
With no logical reason whatsoever.
Nope.
Just God said so. Yeah.
Hmm.
And we were supposed to eat that up and just swallow it.
Yeah. There was one time a teacher slipped up, and she said, because Rod said so. And then she corrected herself real quick. But I remember thinking that was pretty funny.
Do you think Rod is his real name?
Yeah, I think Rodney.
Like, I wonder if this is just my brain going off on a side quest. But imagine if he changed his name to be Rod because it sounded like God. Just
Yeah,
kidding, but also imagine.
maybe that's why he went by it, uh, because but
To
I'm
be
pretty sure his
closer to
name is
God.
Rodney. Yeah, because his mom, when she would get up and preach, she would call him Rodney, but he wouldn't, but he got such an ego that he wouldn't let anybody. You couldn't even just call him Rod. Like if you went to the church, or any of the staff, anybody, he had to be addressed as Pastor Rod. And would get
Really?
he would get mad if you just said Rod, or even if you just referred to him, not even talking to him. Like if you were just talking, if I was talking to my mom, if I called him Rod, and he heard that, he would be super. He was very very defensive about that for some reason. He had to
That's
have that pastor title before his name.
some pretty big red flags there
Yeah.
for an overinflated ego. Like
Yep.
um, I have here somewhere about how the church got started. I don't know where I have that written
Oh,
down here.
yeah. Well, the story that we always heard, he was proud of it. He would preach it all the time on Sundays. Is that he built this congregation of 5,000 people, um, and it started out as a Bible study in his mom's basement, where when he was
Right.
17,
In 1977.
77.
That's the year that's sticking out in my memory here, but I have it written down somewhere that in 77 he started that in the backyard is what the internet said.
Oh,
But you said the story that you heard was in the basement.
yeah, he always said in the basement of his mom's house, or his parents' house, and then maybe it graduated out to the backyard, once it got too full in the basement or whatever. But yeah, but I mean, I think he's 69 years old right now, and he started it when he was 17. So he's been doing it for a long time, and I think that's why he's so convincing to a lot of
Yeah.
people.
He's so convincing. Like I'm not religious at all anymore. And I found myself like whatever part in me that was indoctrinated growing up, I found that part in me listening and going, "Oh yeah, he's good." You know?
Yeah.
But then he pulls out the very dramatic fake tears and asinine ramblings, and my bullshit meter just goes off. Just I can't listen to bullshit.
Yeah.
And it's just constant with him, it seems, just from what I've heard anyways.
Yeah. And I was force fed it for 8 or 9 years.
God. I don't know how you could put up with that.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know any better, like it was just the way that life was. I didn't realize what was happening at the time, so it wasn't as bad,
It's yeah,
at
not
the
until
time.
after, right? Till after you
Yeah.
step away from it and kind of take inventory of the conditioning and go, "Whoa." I think possibly for the rest of our lives, we're gonna have uh moments where something happens and we go, "Oh, I'm this way because of that."
Yeah. Yeah. I had, many moments like that, after I left the church, and seeing things happen, and my first thought was to do one thing, and I'm like, wait a second, that doesn't make any sense. That's, like, because my first thought was to do like you know what the church would have taught me to do, had conditioned me to do, and I'm like, well, that's just kind of dumb. Like, it would be way better, just I'd put some, logic and common sense to the situation, like this would work way better. uh you know what I mean? But it's just,
Yeah.
so there was situations like that after I left that would remind me of, that how I was, indoctrinated by with the church, and not the best options, uh to
Yeah.
handle things. So
Are you still religious?
I'm
And
not.
how have your beliefs changed?
I don't know. I just don't know what to believe now. You know what I mean? Like when I got out, I just turned away from the church altogether, when it wanted nothing to do with religion and God and all that kind of stuff for, like, 10 years. And
Yeah.
then when I got married, you know, my wife was a Christian. And so we kind of started going, looking for a church, and went for a little while. And then we couldn't really find a good church that we liked. And so then I was kind of more, open to the idea of, religion, and getting back into it. But um, I don't really know what to believe now, and so I don't really claim to be, like, to be a Christian, or to be, like, I mean, or have, like, any kind of, personal walk with, a God, or a deity, or whatever. But I'm open to, finding out the truth, and, if there is a God out there. I'd love to find out about
Reconnect.
more. Except, yeah, I just
Reconnect, but on a real truth basis.
Yeah, exactly.
more authentic,
And
more.
I am getting closer to that because especially since I've been in the Mandela community for the last 6 years. I've met a lot of people who are who are Christians, and like actually Christians, and not just people saying I'm a Christian. They're not the fake Christians that I grew up around. And they don't necessarily go to any specific church or belong to any denomination, but they just have, you know, they seem genuine in the fact that they, uh, have a relationship, with God, and uh, they seem more real. So, you know, I would like to find that, if it's out there. Um,
It's so personal, right? Like everybody's living their own unique experiences in life, and I don't think any two people have the same beliefs or perceptions or perspectives. Just because everybody's having their own human experience here. I think if you took twins and they went through life together, they would still have different perspectives and perceptions.
yeah,
And there's so many nuances and influences in life.
yeah.
How are you overcoming what you've been through?
Um,
And before you answer that, I want to throw this out to the chat that if anybody has questions, uh, we have about 15 minutes left with Josh before he's got to go walk the dog. And then he's going to be off to Sandy's channel. So if you have any questions that we can ask, we've got 15 minutes. I've got a few things here that I still want to ask and bring up, but
yeah, I actually was thinking it might have to be a little bit less than that because Sandy asked me to get there a few minutes earlier. So
okay.
so yeah, I apologize. I figured, uh, 15 would be enough time, but she wants to make sure that you get a sound check and all that kind of stuff. Uh, so what else you got for me?
How are you overcoming what you've been through?
Well, I don't really know yet because, like I said, this is all pretty fresh to me to be realizing that you know that I was right about this place all these
Yeah,
years.
yeah.
And
Actually, true. When I wrote this question, I hadn't considered that you were just kind of reaching this point too. So let's disregard that question. We'll come back to that. Okay, because this is not going to be the only time that we have you on. So um, we'll come back to that another time. Do you have any advice out there for those who are questioning their own situation and for those who know want out?
what was the last part for people who know what?
That they want out of their
Uh,
own situation, whether that be with a cult or a different situation. Do you have any advice for those who are questioning their own situation and for those who know that they want out?
yeah. The only advice I have is like I'm not good at giving advice, but I have learned one thing in life, from my experiences that um, something that you said earlier is when you're in a situation and you don't know what to do, just trust your gut and um, you know go with how you're feeling, and just be strong, and uh, if you're in a situation that you don't want to be in and that you need to fix and change, you got to just make the effort and step up and get out. Luckily for me, it wasn't too hard to get out. Like I didn't have anybody from the church following me saying, why aren't you coming to church here anymore or anything. Like I was just able to just leave and get out. Um, but I would just say to people, yeah, trust your gut, and your instinct, because 90% of the time, it's probably going to be the right thing to do.
Yeah, that's good advice. Really good advice. Um, I hope that by sharing your experience, you're able to begin to healing that part of you that's hidden inside and still secretly hurting from all this. I know that you're certainly helping others by sharing.
Well, I hope so. 'Cause
How?
it definitely seems like it's helped me already. I mean, like I can just like I kind of have the chills right now, uh, just going through, and I feel like we've taken a couple bricks out of the backpack tonight.
Good. I'm glad.
Yeah, no,
I'm
I do
glad.
feel I do feel like it was a nice release getting to talk about this and uh, seeing everybody in the chat being here.
Yes, everybody, we support you, Josh, and everybody in the chat. If you're just listening and you want to send out some love to Josh, to show him that we support him and through this, and he's not alone. I think even people who weren't raised in a church or a cult or um, that anything like that. They get a lot of people can relate in some degree to something. Like I can't say everybody's gone through something similar, but to some degree, there's we go through situations, especially being raised in however we were raised. It's all conditioning. It's based on limited beliefs and perspectives and perceptions that our parents had, that they were taught from people who also had limited beliefs and perceptions and perspectives. And, we come to a point, all of us come to a point in our lives where we've got to take inventory and take stock and go, okay, what's serving me and what isn't? Like this came from that and that's not healthy, or like, question that stuff. And then we need to do the work to recondition our minds and change though, like get rid of those things. But there's a whole process. That doesn't happen overnight, right? I think
No,
you're on a good path here with what you're doing and sharing and releasing. It doesn't just help you, Josh. It helps other people too, right?
I certainly hope so. Because I mean, so far it's been helping me. But yeah, like I said, it's all new and whatever. But yeah, even if it just helps, one or two people out there, that we're going through, something similar, uh, then it's worth it. So,
Yeah. And this is just the beginning,
and this is its beginning. Yep.
just the first steps.
Yeah, yeah.
And
You put part one right in the title, so that means there has to be a part two.
that's right.
So
That's science.
exactly. You're right.
That's how that works. There was some notes. I just want to, before we let you go, I want to see what my notes said so I don't leave anything out. We talked about that and that. Something I was listening to earlier, that I have a quote here, and bring your boys. Oh yeah, because he was talking about something about some event, and he was telling the congregation, he was standing in front of everybody and saying, "Bring your boys. Let them be with men. Don't let them stay home running around with the women. Bless them."
Uh,
Like as if like leaving the boys to be around women is going to curse them. Like that's it just seemed just the way it came out. It was a quote that I wrote down. It kind of caught me like, what? This isn't 1950. Um, and then the app that he's got, the Giving Gift app, uh, video title. Oh, the video that I was watching here, from yesterday, the live stream. If anybody wants to go back and listen to it, it's titled Wisdoms Under the Shadow, Rod Parsley Wisdom Wednesday. Sorry, my notes are really scribbled,
eh,
but that was a live stream from yesterday that I caught. That just it seemed like you can really pick up his energy from just the, he's kind of like I won't compare him to somebody, but I think some people are gonna watch him and go, oh, he's like so and so, just like right out there. He's not hiding his narcissism.
no, not
How
at all.
How are you feeling? Like physically, mentally, spiritually? Um, you feel like you've let out some bricks and thrown some stuff from the pack into the fire?
I do. I do. I feel I feel very relaxed and I did some of the breathing exercises that you uh, told me about before the show, and that helped. And yeah, I mean, I feel good. I'm uh,
Excellent.
ready to go on and talk about it some more.
That's great. I'm so glad. Okay,
Speaking of
Josh.
which, we should probably put the link for the next show in.
Oh yeah. I'm not sure how to do that.
No, I
Let's
can
see.
do it. I just I can't believe we almost forgot.
Yeah, so after this show, guys, Josh is going over to Sandy Diva Mandela Effects, and she's going to be there with what
Robin
is
Torgrimson from
right, Robin
Megamaniacs.
from
Yep.
Megamaniacs. That's right. Um, and they're going to be talking about kind of like an updated what's happening now with the church. Um, but we wanted to come on with Josh and have him share his experiences, and I'm sure he's got tons more that will come to him. But he's just kind of stepping into this release of this stuff, so um, we'll have him back on again. And definitely, if you guys have questions or whatever, next time we'll make sure we have more time with him where we're not on a restraint, and be able to open up a question period for people. And
Yeah,
I
that'll be fun.
yeah,
I'm just looking in the chat. We got a good little chat going on. I'm just thanks everybody for all the comments, and I felt the love there at the end. Everybody sending stuff, so I appreciate you guys being here and listening to my story, and uh, hopefully it helps somebody.
I'm so glad. I'm glad that you came on. I'm glad we were able to do this.
Me too. I'm glad. I'm looking forward to the next one.
Speaking of which, what I'm going to do here, because I'm not sure you're able to do that into the chat. I'm on my other phone, so I'm going to go to Sandy's channel.
Okay, well I just dropped the link for the show that's coming up here at 8 in the chat. So
Oh, I don't see it.
are you got to do you have to switch from your top chat to your live chat again?
Oh shit, is that what it is?
Maybe.
I don't I don't know, because I'm in StreamYard, so I'm not sure how that works.
Oh wait. Oh crap. Did I? I know why you didn't see it. It's because I dropped it in the wrong chat.
Oh, what chat did you drop it in?
I dropped it in the chat of Sandy's show that people are already there. Oh my god.
Okay, I'm here on the phone in with the link with the other
All right.
phone,
All right.
Sandy's
I got it now.
show. Okay, there we go. I got that. I put it in the
Cool.
chat.
All right.
Okay, guys. So you've got 20 minutes, Josh. You better get your dog fixed
I
up
do.
there and out to have a little bathroom break. And thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it. It's good talking to you. It's a lot of fun.
It's always a pleasure, Josh, and everybody in chat. Thanks for coming in and supporting Josh and holding space. Much love to everybody, and we'll hopefully see you over at Sandy's. Katie says I don't see the link over in Rumble. So I just dropped the link there in chat to go to Sandy's for the next stream, which is going to be about the same topic, and we hope you'll join us there. Thanks for being here, and maybe what I'll do, Josh, I'll let you pop out, and I'll just close this up, and see if anybody has for a few minutes, a little close up here, and then we'll see you over there.
Okay, sounds great.
Okay. Much
All
love
right.
to you, Josh, and remember to do those breathing exercises. It doesn't take long, eh? Like, 3 sets of those deep breaths, and it immediately will calm your system.
Okay, cool. I will keep that in mind. I'll practice that. I did feel better after doing that. So, yeah, I'm
Awesome.
gonna
Yeah,
keep
you can
trying.
do that at any time. That'll activate the parasympathetic nervous response. So it's very calming. It lets your body know that you're safe, there's no risk, no threat, and just keep talking to that inner Josh, the little boy inside of you.
All right, sounds good. I would do that.
Let him know it's okay now. You're okay.
Sounds good.
That you got his back and we got his back, and it's gonna be all right. So we'll see you over there at the next chat, Josh.
Alrighty. Have a
And
good
we'll have you
night.
on. Take care,
Yep.
Josh.
Thanks again.
No
Bye bye.
problem. Anytime.
Yep.
So guys, what do you think? How do we do? Did we get her done? Did her did? So that's in at 8 o'clock Eastern time, Eastern Standard Time, over at Sandy's. Um, did the link work, guys? That I sent? Now I wonder if I do this and pin. How's that? Yeah, we done it. I think I was more nervous than Josh was. He did great. I'm really proud of him for coming out and speaking about this stuff. Um, there was something that that Rod had said in that live stream yesterday. Did I take a note of it? There was a term that he used. If I can find it. I know I took note of it. I'm going through my notes here so I don't leave anything out, but there was definitely let me go in the emails because it was something that I had shared with Josh over email. Okay, let's look here. Go into EverJosh. Goodness, I hope you guys enjoyed that, and anybody who's coming in late, feel free to rewind and watch from the or listen from the beginning. I mentioned, where is it? I should have had this prepared. I thought I did. Excuse me. Oh, here it is. Ron is live right now. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, because he was preaching about Psalm 91:9 and 91:10. And I'm just talking about the covenant year of protection. The covenant year of protection, he was saying. And personally, I think he's dead wrong about that. I think this is the year of truth released and the year of fuck around and find out. Basically, we're sweeping out the corners now, the dark, dusty corners, and clearing out the cockroaches, the swindlers, the liars, the thieves, the abusers. And, with everything that's going on, gosh, there's so much going on. It's just wild. I'm going to go back and chat a little bit. Flat Sixer says you could make a good living narrating audiobooks or cartoons or whatever, such as. Oh, thanks, Flat Sixer. That's nice of you to say. Yes, Hillbilly Herb. So much truth being released. It's an energetic onslaught, but for the greater good. It is for the greater good. And everybody right now, the Epstein files being released, this is not something to be swept under the rug. This is not something to be ignored or this is going to be, this is different than before. Okay. Before, all the people that were in power, that are corrupt, there was so many people that, there is so many people that, all this stuff was able to be swept under the rug, but now it's not. Now it's out. Okay, guys. So don't feel that this is hopeless. This is right now. This will not be allowed to be swept under the rug. We're united in the truth of this, right? With so much going on in the world, we can't let ourselves get distracted and forget how important this is, that as long as we don't let this go, they can't let this go. Right? We vote with our dollars and our attention. What wolf are we feeding? Now we want the truth. We got the truth. And we're getting more truth. And all those people need to be held accountable for what they did. We cannot let them get away with this. Absolutely cannot. Under no circumstances. This is not like before, where things would just get talked about and then swept under the rug and the next big thing comes up and people forget. It's not like that. It is not like that. It is fuck around and find out February. And 2026, the year of release. Remember, I talked about what I felt was my challenge for the year months ago. I felt it coming on even before that, but I could feel it coming on stronger and stronger. And I knew, I get chills thinking about it, how 2026 is going to be a release. And here we are, guys. It's a freaking release. And we got to feel, connect to the hope of that, because things are going to suck for a bit before they get better. Right? When you pull the scab off to release the toxin or the poison, it's going to hurt for a bit. And then the poison's going to leave and things are going to get better. The wound is going to get to heal. And that's where we're at. Pulling the poisonous plants out by the root. Pulling the ticks out of the animal by the head. You got to pull the tick out by the head. Right? And that's what's happening now. No more sweeping under the rug. We won't tolerate it, right? It's not going to happen. Not this time. Best. Mr. Super Sidewinder, best apocalypse ever. We're going to have the best apocalypse ever. Yes. We are. We're going to have the best apocalypse ever, and we're all going to do this together. Nobody's alone in this. I'm going to go through it all together. Yes, Astral. Attention is the currency of the universe. Let's put that right there. That's a good one. Yeah? Hillbilly Herb says, when I awoke, the dire wolf, 600 pounds of sin, was grinning at my window. All I said was, come on in. Yeah, guys, we gotta celebrate in this. As hard it is, listen, last night I had a breakdown, emotional breakdown that came on. I was listening, just consumed by the Epstein files and listening and reading and all the stuff that's coming out. This is not something to play ostrich with, anybody with their heads in the sand. We can't look at this and go, oh, I can't handle this right now. No, there are victims out there who are really suffering. And this is bringing it all fresh for them and for other victims of abuse. It's bringing everything back fresh, stuff we buried. So we all got to be there for each other. energetically, spiritually, physically, emotionally, all the stuff. Okay, we got to be there for each other, and remind each other that we're not alone, right? Because it can feel very lonely, especially after what they put us through during COVID, separating everybody and making them believe they should stay home and recluse, and the depression and all the, oh goodness, this is all set up. It's all a big facade. It's all a big facade. Everything that people believed about what was going on in the world, it's all a facade. It is not true reality. A lot of us saw what was going on, and we got accused of being conspiracy theorists and all kinds of crazy people, whatever. Well, you know what? Oh well, we whatever accusations they wanted to throw at us, we tried to warn people, soften the blow a little bit, but geez, the details, the details are just, they really can pull you in and make you, for anybody who's empathetic and sensitive souls, it fucking hurts to hear the stuff that has gone on, and it's okay to cry about that. It's okay. And it's good and it's healing to release that. We can't, when we have an emotional uh release, then we're releasing stuff that we've been holding inside. So allow that, it's good healing. And yes, yeah, all of you guys are making great points. Trust your gut. Yeah. Flat Sixer, COVID was a dress rehearsal for the next big, it's transfer of wealth and power. Yeah. Yeah. But we're not going to let them this is not go back to business as usual. No. Babies and children and women and men. What's happened is unacceptable. It's unacceptable. This is not oh, well, they only hurt a few people. No. That's not, this is not, no. People are calling for public executions. Like, this is serious. And yeah, this is going down in the States. This is also going down around the world because of the connections that world leaders and other people in power and control had with Epstein. Leaders around the world are stepping down out of shame. So we're all watching with you guys, okay? Any Americans out there who are hoping and wishing that other people are seeing this, we're seeing this. We're right beside you guys. We're with you. It's heavy stuff. Really heavy. But we can't put our heads in the sand and pretend like it's not happening. This is real life. And the castle is tumbling. The castle is crumbling, I should say. The castle is crumbling and the kings are tumbling down. That's what's happening right now. That's the truth. This is not going to be business as usual. We're united in that, right? We've been waiting so long for these files to be released, and we're not going to let this be swept under the rug. And I can't say it enough. I know I've said that probably freaking 5 times now, but I mean it. I genuinely mean it. Some of the things I read last night had me crying like uncontrollably. I messaged my friend to go, if I could just go over and have a smoke with her and just get a quick hug. I just had to step away for a few minutes, get a hug and come back to it because, yeah, it's heavy, but we got to know what's going on. And they're trying to clear out, they're trying to redact, they're trying to, we're not going to let them, they're not going to let them There's so many people right now exposing the truth right now. It's so important. Drop whatever distractions that you've got going on right now that don't immediately need your attention. You need to put your attention on what's being released right now. And the people need to come together and go forward together, because this is unacceptable. Everything is going to change after this. Yeah. Like, go back and chat a little bit. Yeah. A lot of people were. Flat sixer. My best friend was. So busy on the hamster wheel, right? Not questioning anything. Just, this is what, if you want to keep your job. So she did. All of them. Now she got cancer. And yeah. Billy Herb says, I'm sorry to say you have a dose of Moderna and a dose of Pfizer. I was terrified of them, but didn't seem there was a choice there. You were misguided for sure, yeah? But look at you guys woken up. Look at you guys woken up. Everybody waking up. It's beautiful that people are waking up, and we all got to support each other through, right? Flat Sixer, Vioxx killed 70,000 people. Pfizer released it after knowing it would lead to their deaths. Yep. Put our faith in people who we should have been able to trust. Shame on them, not us. That's right. It's shame on them, not you guys. No. Shame on them. They knew this. It was all intentional, and it was all their little ploys in the background, using each other for power and greed. And Astro says, eyes open, no fear, sights on the horizon. That's right. And we're united in this, right? This is all across the world, guys. This is not little pockets. We all know how we feel about pedophiles, and it is not okay what they did. It's not okay. It's not okay. And it'll never be okay. That's never going to be okay. There's never going to come a time where in a couple days, or whatever, and people already, somebody the other day said, I can't, one of the news anchors saying, looking forward to us being able to move forward and move past this onto other things, more important topics. And it's like, what are you talking about? Nothing right now is more important than this. There is nothing more important than this right now. No other topics in the news. Nothing. We pull it out by the root. This is how we're going to move forward. Not by shoving it under the rug or pretending like this isn't important. This is the most important. All the victims. And it's not just the people that were victims of Epstein and his cronies. It's all the victims around the world that haven't been heard. Anyways, I don't want to go on right now about it because it's 8:00. Guys, I'm gonna post the link again for Sandy's. No, that's right, Flat Sixer, and we won't be moving forward until there's a solution. Yeah, it's sick, hillbilly. Everything about it is sick, and we're not going to put up with it. We're not sweeping under the rug. None of that. No, not this time, guys. This time we're all united all around the world. Everybody's listening. Everybody knows. This is released now, and we got to be catching up with what's going on, what's happened in the Epstein files. I got so many screenshots because just in case things get deleted, like Trump already tried to redact the stuff that had his name. His name was mentioned 38,000 times. 38,000 times, guys. And just these ones, there's 5,000 more to go. Excuse me. Anyway, guys, I dropped the link in the chat for Sandy's. live stream. That's where Josh is now talking with the Megamaniacs and talking about the cult that he escaped, and that's what our show tonight was about. So, in honoring truth and release and freedom, I surround you all, and myself. I surround myself, and all of you surround yourselves, and we surround the whole group in a white protective light of Source. Nothing can come in unless we invite them. Only those with the greatest and best of intentions. I invite my grandmother, my dad, and my pets. In your own bubble, protective light, you can invite whoever you wish, whoever's the most safest. Everybody else, surround our bubbles as armor. Only the best of intentions, guys. Feel love in your heart. Really connect to the love, okay? That's going to be so important moving forward, is to connect to the love. There is so much love. Don't let the darkness distract you from what's in your heart. It's real. It's true. That runs all through your body, all around you, all around your body is love. It's the love of the Creator, by whatever name you want to give. And if you don't believe in that, then you can call it the universe, whatever you want to call it. There's no judgment. It's all love. Yeah, we can't let love be gatekept. Level playing field. Level playing field says I get ignored because people want to keep their happiness, and so they choose to ignore me because they think I'm an asshole. It doesn't matter what people think. What people think about us is none of our business. It's none of our business. I want you to tell that to yourself and remind yourself of that every day. Well, other people's opinion of me is none of my business. And love cannot be gatekept because it's in your heart. It's all around you. You're connected to source energy. You're connected to God, Creator, Great Spirit, universe, whatever you want to call it. It's all the same thing, we just by different names. That's true, unconditional love. No judgment, no guilt, no shame, just love. True, unconditional love. When I died, that's what I felt. I was in the light and it was all love. So guys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, beasts of this world, bring your pets. I shared a link up above. That's for Sandy's stream. Let's head over there and support Josh through this and send him our love. We're gonna go over there and bring all the love. I know level a lot of people haven't. Now is the time. Now is the time to experience love. Really put your hands on your hearts. Heart, not that you have multiple hearts. Put your hands on your heart. Feel the heartbeat and breathe that love through, in and out. Feel your heartbeat. Activate your heart. And send that love up into your head, into your brain. Activate your heart. It's called heart brain math. I believe it's called heart math. I like to put two hands because I got ADHD and I have a low attention span, but you could put one hand. Put your hands on your heart, feel it beating. That's all love in there. Nobody can take that love from you. If you can go and look yourself in the mirror and say, I love you 20 times, say it. Look yourself in the eye. It's going to feel foreign. It's going to feel not true. It's going to feel like you're lying to yourself. But look at how many fucking lies the world has told us all our lives that we believed. I'll tell you, This is a good one. And when it becomes truth, it's going to feel better. I love you. You deserve love. We deserve love. We deserve to feel love, and we deserve to give love, and we deserve to be surrounded in love. You are worthy of love. Whatever happened in the past to make us feel like we weren't, that's not on us. Now it's on us to change that, right? We deserve to be loved. We deserve to love. We deserve to be surrounded in love. To have a light heart and to belly laugh and feel peace. We deserve that. And no level playing field. Love is not meaningless unless there's someone who experiences it with you. No. Love is synergistically, I don't know how to put that. Love is whole around us. When love is shared, it's a gift, but it's something that will bring some healing, some synergistic healing. But the love that's in your heart and surrounding you makes you whole if you can connect to it. It's the everything. And it's magical when that can be shared with somebody, but that's not the end all be all. You can absolutely love yourself. We can love ourselves. It's a reconditioning of the minds. No, you can not just only love yourself. You can love yourself and also love others. You can love others without them even knowing. So when you say nobody ever wants your love, that's okay. You can still love people. You can still love. If you're not hurting anybody, then you just go ahead and sit there in your love bubble and love. You can love the world quietly, secretly. Send out your love like a Care Bear sending out caring thoughts. I know it hurts, Level, but that's because we're not used to it, right? And it feels like it's not true, but it is. It is. You got to do it every day. You got to go look yourself in the mirror every single day. Louise Hay calls this mirror work. You look yourself in the eyes every day and say, I love you. I love you. I love you. Level Plane Productions, I love you. Use your real name and say it. Say it 20 times. With your hands on your heart, feel your heartbeat and say, I love you. You look yourself in the eye. And it's going to feel really foreign and like a lie. But you do that every day, and I promise you, it starts to feel more okay. And then it starts to feel good. And then you're going to start to smile at yourself and go, hey, I kind of do love you. And if you can't do that, then I want you to look inside at the little version of you who's inside and hurting. And I want you to talk to that little version of you the way you needed to be spoken to when you were that age by the parents and the adults around you who were supposed to be nurturing and loving and caring for you. Be the person that little you needed when you were little. Comfort them. They're hurting. They're hurting so bad. Scoop them up. Listen to what they have to say. Ask them what they need. Tell them it's okay. You got their back now. You're going to look after them. They don't have to worry anymore. They're not alone. You got their back. You're going to be there with them. Take them home, to your home. Show them around. Say, this is your new home. You're safe here with me. And stick them in your back pocket where they're safe. Or in your breast pocket where they're close, right by your heart. Give them a hug. Tell them you love them. It's going to be okay. Take a deep breath through your nose. Count to 4 as you breathe in through your nose, not through your mouth, through your nose. This is the best. Hold for 6 seconds and then exhale through your nose for a count of 8. When you breathe in, feel your belly getting big, not your chest coming up, your belly getting big. Deep, deep breathe down low into your belly. Breathe in for 4 seconds, hold for 6, and exhale for 8. And exhaling longer than you inhaled. No matter what numbers you use, exhale longer than you inhale. It's going to calm the nervous system and tell your body that you're safe. It's okay. There's no threat. We're not at risk. No danger. It's okay to be. And I want you to do that a few times, at least 3 times, okay? If you can do it for a few minutes, great, and you can do it at any time, all through the day, randomly, anytime. Do these breathing exercises to activate the parasympathetic nervous system, okay? We're going to be okay, and we're all in this together. Nobody's going through this alone. Pappy Two Bears says, hello, Pappy. Pappy says, we were created through an act of love by the Creator. Otherwise, we would not have been allowed to come into existence. That love spark is within. Connect to it, and you connect to life worth living. Correct. Level says, feeling of love in which nobody can't measure, yet everyone is always saying, I have to love myself first. How can they know what or how much I love? I don't know. It's always something that's used to brush me away. I do love myself, just saying, and I like the breath work, but I have reached a place that's much, much further into this inner self and loving myself. Never able to explain it since people have no patience to understand anything about others. Let's go deeper into that. Level Playing Productions. We're gonna maybe we'll come back here. If we don't come back tonight, we'll come back very soon in the next couple of days, okay? And let's go further into that, because with everything being released right now, I think it's really important that we all come together. But right now, let's go over and support Josh through all of this, and he's not going to be alone. There's going to be people who are leaving the cult and wanting to find their people, and we're going to support them through that, guys. Everybody needs love and support, okay? Including ourselves. And that's taking the oxygen mask so that we can be there for other people. So right now, when you go over and rewind their video, we're 15 minutes late, so rewind to the beginning and put the speed on higher so we can catch up. In that meantime, go get yourself a drink, go use the washroom, step out and take fresh air, whatever you got to do some self-care. It's really important right now that we do self-care, okay? Take that oxygen mask, put it on, and turn the O2 up. Because the only way we're going to be able to be there for other people is if we take that oxygen mask and put it on ourselves first. And then we'll be able to be there for everybody else. And we'll be able to help other people to take their mask and put it on. Right? So the link is in the chat. I'll share it again in case anybody's popping in late. I'm going to go over and rewind their stream. There, the link is posted. Click on that, rewind to the beginning, speed up the playback so that you can catch up and go do some self-care and self-love, and then get in the chat and let's send Josh some love, okay? Big hugs to everybody, and we're going to get through this, okay? Now, how do we close this? I can't remember. I can't remember how to close the live stream. So, geez, guys, I don't know. There's no exit. I don't know how to close this. Much love to everybody. Thanks for coming and supporting us through, supporting Josh, and supporting the channel. And to whoever sees this, or frickin', I don't know, whoever's listening in the private, in the head honchos, the overseers, the overlords. Yeah, we know what you did last summer. Just kidding. But also, yeah. I don't know how to close this, guys. I really do not know how to close the stream. Oh, it's there. It's there. Okay. And cheers, guys. Go and click that link. Go over to Sandy's and let's support Josh, okay? Big love. And this much for you all, and for myself, and for Josh. We'll see you over there.